And I'm Akira.
And you're watching
Dante's Boxing Nation.
That was good.
It depends because Loma has been out so long, and Devin's style is just a perfect style for Lomachenko because of his angles and stuff. But we gotta see the same Lomachenko my son fought, and if Devin fights the same Lomachenko my son fought, Loma's is gonna destroy him.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So you heard that clip right there. That was Teo Sr. giving his prediction on a possible fight between Devin Haney and Vasyl Lomachenko. And you heard what Sr. said. He said that Lomachenko would beat Devin Haney. Now, hearing something like that from Teofimo Lopez Sr. or Jr., it's not really that surprising. But what made no sense at all is the fact that Teofimo Sr., he said that if the same Lomachenko that showed up to fight my son, if that Lomachenko shows up, basically he was saying there was no way Devin Haney was going to beat that version. But remember, Teofimo Lopez, he fought the same Lomachenko that did not let his hands go for 6 rounds straight. Didn't really punch at all. And by Lomachenko's own admission, immediately after the fight, Lomachenko did interviews explaining why he didn't let his hands go in the first 6 rounds. And surprisingly, Lomachenko did not use an injury excuse. He said the reason why he didn't let his hands go because he felt like he was never in position to punch without getting hit with a counter. You see, usually when fighters make excuses for why they lose, they usually come up with those excuses days or sometimes a week after the fight because they have more time to sit back and be more creative with an excuse for why they lost. So once again, Lomachenko pretty much admitted the reason why he didn't let his hands go is because Teo was doing a great job of controlling distance, controlling range. And Devin Haney, he can control distance and range much better than Teofimo Lopez can. In fact, Devin Haney does almost everything better than Teofimo Lopez does in the ring, which is exactly why Teofimo Lopez avoided the Devin Haney fight. So the fact that Lomachenko would lose to a Teofimo Lopez, the fact that Teofimo, he struggled against Jorge Linares, he struggled against Luke Campbell by his own admission before he lost to Teo, he said that that was the most difficult fight of his career. Someone Lomachenko was expected to walk through with complete ease. So it would be great if we could get the Devin Haney versus Lomachenko fight. But unfortunately, Devin Haney, he just recently said in his press conference for the George Kambosos second fight that he's not sure if he's going to stay at 135 after this fight. And clearly he was implying that it's getting harder and harder to make the weight, which is the reason why Devin Haney was actually pushing for the Lomachenko fight in October instead of having to fight George Kambosos. He had already talked about the fact that they could pay George some step-aside money to make the Lomachenko fight. This is also the reason why Devin Haney, he didn't announce the George Kambosos rematch until Lomachenko announced his next fight, because Devin was waiting around trying to get that fight. Devin Haney also wanted to prevent the cap when it comes to Lomachenko, meaning he didn't want to sign this contract to fight George Kambosos first because he didn't want Loma to start capping and start telling people, oh, see, I was going to fight him, but he decided to fight against George Kambosos. That's why, once again, Devin, he waited around. Listen, I've already told you guys, if Devin Haney decides to vacate the belts and move up to 140 immediately after he beats George Kambosos again, he will be giving Lomachenko the biggest Christmas gift ever. Lomachenko is going to be the happiest boxer in the sport because he will have all of those vacant belts to fight for against weaker opposition. But I will say, in a scenario like that, if Devin does move up immediately, this is Shakur Stevenson's opportunity for Shakur Stevenson to move up right after his next fight and try to push for a title shot for one of the vacant belts at 135 against Lomachenko. So regardless if Devin Haney decides to stay at 135 to try to make the Lomachenko fight afterwards, which is still possible, regardless if he moves up or not, Lomachenko will definitely have his hands full with a possible fight against Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson. But the truth is, the way Lomachenko has been looking at 135, he might not even have to be in the ring with the likes of a Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson to take another L. Listen, guys, there's no doubt about it. Weight does make a difference in the sport of boxing. When you're talking about moving up to different weight classes, sometimes it's like going from the amateurs to the pros. You have to often change your strategy the way you fight because now you're fighting against bigger, stronger guys. We've seen a little example of that when Teofimo Lopez fought against his cherry-picked opponent at 140. All of a sudden, Teo, he was moving a lot more than we used to see him moving. He had to land a lot more counter punches to get the guy out of there. If he was fighting against a guy at 135, he would have had a better chance of stopping a person with one punch. It's a complete different ball game at the higher weight classes. So we've seen fighters moving up in weight affect their career drastically. From Chocolatito Gonzalez to Nonito Donaire to Teofimo Lopez and now Vasyl Lomachenko. So if Devin Haney does move up and vacate the belts, I'm really looking forward to seeing who Lomachenko will fight for some of those vacant belts. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Diki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodiki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
My name is Chris, and I'm all the way here from Anchorage, Alaska at South Carolinas, and I'm here for my second treatment of SMP. Well, I was sitting at home one day and going over my Facebook page, and they have different, like advertisements popping up, and I saw one for SMP. And I saw some pictures of some guys, before and after, and I was looking at that, and it caught my attention. So I Googled it. SMP, nothing showed up in my area. So, I did a little more research, and all of a sudden, South Carolinas popped up in the web browser. So I started watching his videos and seeing all the reaction from all the other people. We talked on the phone, we made appointments and everything. I sent him pictures, and he looked at them, and I was like, "Can you fix this?" And, he pretty much said, "No problem." My first session, he made me feel extremely comfortable. It was almost like I was talking to family. He started, and during the whole treatment, we talked and, about our families and our life and, and things that he does and things that I do. And before I know it, the first session was over. When you see someone doing something that they love, as much as I see Enoch Glover love what he does, it shows in his work. I wouldn't point anyone in any other direction but here to North Carolina, South Carolinas, to get this done.
Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.